managing moderators can support a channel in even more ways. Managing moderators, these users have the same capabilities as standard moderators, but in addition, they can manage blocked words, change chat modes, and live. Cool. Good stuff. I'm just testing to make sure that I can still run a live from my phone because it's been such a while. I am already on the hype train for tomorrow's Bears game, 6:30 p.m. I am gonna run a short live stream at least, maybe the whole game. I don't know. Gotta figure out how I can listen to it, probably with the headphones, without it coming through on YouTube because I'm not doing a play-by-play or anything. But give you guys a little bit of insight into where the Mickey Rouse Banks boom come from. So you got David Carlisle. Hey man, yeah, one of my first subscribers. Good to see you, man. Long time. Yeah, I'm not really trying to do anything right now. Really, just testing to see if I can still live from my phone. I have to be able to do mobile live. I'm not not monetizing anymore, so it's been a while since I've been able to get on here. Had a lot of personal issues, a lot of other stuff. There's a video explains it. Rolling the channel into a podcast, somewhat. May get back into coins at some point, but right now, not really where my head is. Kind of lost my passion for it because of situations and such. And now the price is so high, it's not really, doesn't really seem like a good time to try to get back in, considering I got in at 16 and we're at 90 right now. Yeah, but anyway, now it's testing to make sure that I can go live tomorrow, and it's a whole different animal. The boom will be live, and it will be the bigger boom, the biggest boom, the booms that you haven't heard, but it's where I draw that ability from, is from my passion for my football team. So whether we win or lose, I'm going to be rooting them to the end, no matter what on the game. I don't know if I'll live the whole stream. I might do like a short before halftime, come back in the third quarter, and finish from there. I don't know. We will see. But yeah, just testing, make sure I can still go live. Check out my latest release video, face-to-face chat, just kind of catching up and getting back going, letting you guys know where I'm at. So all my contacts are still the same, my emails are still the same, so you can still reach me through everything that is listed except for the address that's listed on the channel. I will change that tomorrow when I get up and get going. Kind of got hyped up about the game, so I'm like up in the middle of the night right now. Had to get up, go to the bathroom, and caught a video. Been talking with another creator who created it. I posted a link to his video for the Bears on the channel here. Definitely go check that out if you're a Bears fan, or if you're just a football fan in general. You can kind of capture the passion, that you can see it in the video. You can feel it, it's good stuff. So yeah, it kind of reminded me that my passion is more for the creation, really, than it ever was about the coins. I mean, I love the coins, don't get me wrong, but really the creation in the community was the reason why I stayed, and I worked so hard to keep it and try to keep moving it forward. So I didn't let it go and give it up completely. I had to take a break, but an extended break, and definitely the reasons are there. So I don't pull no punches, never have, never will. You guys are gonna know everything that I know, when the time comes. So I put it out on live, got no problem with it. Put it out on video, that's where I'm at. So Mama's sleeping right now. I can't be too loud, so I got the earbuds on or the headphones on. So anybody that gets on and gets to see it, you know what I mean? Again, yeah, I'm definitely going to live tomorrow. So I'm going to go live during the game. I just got to figure out how not to let the sound come through for the game. So I don't even know if I'll be able to do it where you can see me, but you'll hear me for sure. I might have to put the phone farther away from the TV, something like that, because I'll have the sound coming through the TV, I might be able to hook it up through Bluetooth. I don't know. And I might have to watch the game through my phone. If I have to watch through the phone, that's going to make it extremely difficult. But I have a tablet as a backup, so I could possibly get it linked up on there or go live from there and do it that way. I don't know. But that's the plan for tomorrow. Definitely on the Chicago Bears hype train, 6:30 p.m. Central Time tomorrow night. I'm definitely going to go live probably a little bit before, so probably like 6:15. It's 6:30, the game starts. I'm going to start at 6:15. So, but definitely good to see you, David Carlisle. And again, you know what? I also went back and I watched a few of my videos, my older videos. You know, that's kind of been a little bit of a late realization, you know, as far as my intent. I want to know where I am. I lost the passion for coins, but not for creating, you know. I definitely not for the community. The fact that I still have 1,300 out of 1,500 subscribers after 3 or 4 years, you know, of not putting out any content, it lets me know that, you know what I mean, I was part of a community, and you guys stuck through, so I appreciate it. You know, I watched a video of me coin roll hunting with my daughter, you know, when she was 3 years old. You know what I mean? That was way back, 6 years ago. Like crazy. I was running a food truck, opening a restaurant, doing YouTube. I don't know how I did it then, you know, I really don't. And being a single dad at the same time. Have my daughter half every week. I don't know how I did it, but I did it because I had a passion for it. Just like I have a passion for cooking. I have a passion for my Chicago Bears. That's for sure. Those are 3 things that are unmistakable and will always be present. So I'm definitely going to be getting back into it. Going to try it in a different way. Do a podcast. Do some live streams. Maybe play with some coins at some point. I'm not there yet on the coin thing, but you know, we'll see what happens in the markets and stuff, and see where it goes. If we don't get nuked, you know. Yeah, I'm the crazy conspiracy theorist, Uncle, as well. I just like to stay informed so I can stay prepared. That's just, you know, kind of where I like to be at, just so I kind of see what's coming. VR Chef. Man, good to see you, man. Good to see you too, brother. For sure. Yeah, again, I'm just testing my live stream, make sure I can live from my phone, because I want to go live during the Bears game tomorrow, so I'm going to be, you're going to hear the booms. You're going to hear some explicit language, fair warning, and, yeah, you're going to hear where the passion came from that created the boom, so kind of like an origin story type of thing, but a live stream, you know what I mean, but when I do the podcast, that'll be the first podcast release as a test. I'm going to release it on here. It's going to be an origin story of the channel and how we ended up here. But what I did realize that, you know, through the community that we all create and we maintain together, you know, I was able to let my daughter live out her dream and, you know, do YouTube with me. And, you know, I was her hero, because I was a YouTuber, you know what I mean, even though I was doing coins. But, I mean, that stuff you can't duplicate, you can't recreate, you can't go back and relive it. You just have to own the moment, you know what I mean, and enjoy it while it's there, because it may not come again, you know. Yeah, that realization has came. I'm definitely going to share. She's 11 now, she's almost as tall as me. She's huge, grew like a weed. But yeah, I some of the videos and stuff, I spent so long live streaming. I live streamed after 3 days back-to-back 12-hour days. One of them ended up only being 10. And then while I was opening a restaurant, I don't know what I was thinking, honestly, at that time. But I was able to maintain it really well. I was all caught up on shipping at that time. Everything was good. I definitely put a lot more on my plate than I should have. It prepared me for other things, you know, that came across, you know, life as afterwards, and now, life now. You know, I can juggle pretty good. Taught myself how to auction, you know, I created that, I did that myself, you know. Taught myself how to edit using an iPhone. I still can't use an iPhone like for a regular day. I'm still an Android user, but I use my iPhone to edit my videos, and I created intros and outros and created some for some other channels. You know what I mean? Just because of my passion for creating. Let me go back to video. Sorry, accidentally hit my phone. So awesome, BR Chef. You know, that's one of the things too. You know, I've also been going through a lot of self-realizations lately. You know, I've been talking to some older friends and family members, and it's like, you know, I look back, and one thing for sure is I've kind of always been there for the kids. You know, I was the babysitter when I was younger. I'm the oldest of four, so I was the one responsible for my brothers. No matter what, you know, we could go ride our bikes 8 miles away and canoe down a river, but something happened. It was on me. So, that being said, yeah, I was a babysitter. I babysat my mom's friends' kids so that they could party. And, you know, I had a good friend at the time, Jessica, and, you know, we managed the kids together. You know, we played house, essentially. Not funny like house, but like house, you know, before I even had an idea what having a child would be like, you know. So that prepared me for having one. And, yeah, you know, I was a good dad. I took care of my kid. I made sure she had everything she ever wanted. And part of the reason why I was able to do that is because of this community. You know, for sure. You know, she got to get the things that I wasn't able to get when I was a kid. So, that just kind of reignited my my flame for creation. And I definitely am going to continue the channel. I'm going to keep the channel. I may spring off into a separate channel more focused on the podcast, but I'm hoping that my best friend Billy, he passed away in a car accident. I'm pretty sure I've talked about this on the channel before. My brother was driving the car. I recently had his son up here just now. Now this is a recent development, you know what I mean? And, you know, we've been able to reach each other on cooking. You know, that's one of the ways that we're able to talk. And, you know, he's also, like, he's Gen Z. They're very different than me, which I consider Gen X, even though technically I'm a young millennial, but we didn't have the tech where I grew up. So I grew up Gen Z. Or Gen X, sorry, not Gen Z. But I'm trying to figure out Gen Z so I can reach them and try to convey some of the information that I have up here, quite a bit up here, but if they can't understand it, what's the point, you know, of even trying? So I got to figure out how to understand them, you know, and that's what I'm kind of working on a personal level right now, is trying to connect with the generation that's going to assume power, you know, that's for sure. They're going to assume power because we got skipped over. The boomers lived too long, and we're left. We were forgotten to begin with and then left behind now. So, okay, well, you know what? We don't really want to be out there on Front Street, honestly. That's all of our Gen X mentality, I believe. You know, most of ours anyways. A few of us, you know, got into some politics and some things, but, you know, we're not going to change the world, and we're not going to take over power of the country, for sure. Not in this country, at least. I don't know what other countries are doing, but Gen Z is. They're the next in line, you know, really. So when as I continue to move forward, I want the podcast to be kind of focused on, you know, like getting the gap, you know what I mean? Like getting the gap between us and figuring out how to speak. Like it's a different language, you know what I mean? It's a different language. It's like a completely different language. I say something and he take it a certain way, and then I'm like, wait a minute, what did I say? Why did he take it this way? And then I'll ask him about it, and then I'm like, oh yeah, duh, you know. And then I have to remember I was 21 too, about a while ago, but I wasn't listening to nobody my age at that time, I promise you that. So, is what it is. But yeah, I got the test on. I'm definitely coming back, and you know, I was watching my face-to-face live where I didn't even do any coin roll hunts. I was looking through some quarters, just, chit-chatting with everybody after, long week, and got out all my packages and everything was accomplished. And I still had plenty of energy, because I was doing something that I love doing, and that was creating, being a content creator and, chatting with community members that we all create together. So, keep it up, guys. Thanks for sticking with me again. I couldn't possibly thank you guys enough, honestly, for helping me, back then, because without you guys, I would not have been able to let my daughter live out some of her dreams and me live out some of mine. I never really wanted to be a YouTuber, but it turns out that's what my daughter wanted to do when she was that age. So, it was fantastic, fantastic. So, anyways, I'm going to try to relax before this game. As I need to get some sleep because it's not till 6:30. And if I don't get some sleep soon, I'm going to be up all day. Because Mama's going to get up. I'm taking care of my mom full time right now. I'm her live-in caretaker, so I kind of have to be up. She's sick, so I got to monitor her oxygen. She's on oxygen 24/7, so I don't have to be up, but I can't be out either. You know what I mean? So I can sleep and rest, but I can't really sleep. So, and then when the Bears game comes, and after this, I had my nephew up here for a couple of months. Yeah, it's still decompressing from that a little bit. My Bears help me with that. Helps me let out this darkness. I got this darkness inside me, and it wants to get out, and it wants some walking around money. It wants some shoes. It wants to go up to the people. Say, Mickey don't play no shit. Mickey ain't never been out playing no shit. So, dragging myself back up, and I'm coming back, because Gator don't play no shit. Alright, I love you guys. Sorry for the vulgar comment there. It's just, that's just where I'm at, you know what I mean? I figured out that I'm not living in a land where F's are given to me. I have to be the giver of F's now. Finding it kind of difficult to find them, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that doing this is going to help me find those F's to give. So, definitely going to be back. And the graded W quarter, I'm reading your comment, BRSF, sorry. Big memory in my son's life. The graded W quarters that he got from you are very special to him. Yeah, I'm glad. I got a lot of flack during that too. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, so I got that box of quarters. The video's there. I recorded it the day I picked it up from the bank. And then I posted it to YouTube. And then I sent in the coins for grading. The entire box was accidentally early released. Yeah, PCGS didn't give me a piece of paper certifying that. But the fact that they certified one coin as that, and I have witnesses and a receipt and a video to prove that this box of coins was accidentally early released, is legit. And I even furnished a certificate of authenticity created by one of the witnesses and signed by myself. They were not all W's, you know what I mean? They were Denver minted, but they were accidentally early released Denver quarters. But, Grandpa, before he passed, Ken, you know what I mean? He was like, this is a crock. He's peddling uncertified stuff. I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to argue with the man. He has more knowledge than I'll ever have in coins. So I just cease and desist, gave him away at that point. I did only give out, I ended up giving out less than the 1,500. I probably gave out 8. So if you have one, you have one of 800 from that box. The rest of them ended up going back to the bank. So, because I didn't want to mess with it no more. It wasn't really worth the hassle or people being confused and trying to explain it, at the same time. It wasn't just Ken. There was some other people that, were confused. They were like, oh man, I thought this was a W and, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I made it very clear as to what it was, and I even had Rob help me, promote it. because I knew Rob, and I still have his number in my phone. I don't call him, but he come out to the barbecue truck. We went out and had a drink. One day, whatever, all good. He's a good dude, and you know what I mean. I helped him. I let him show my accidental early release W quarter slab on the stream. Just because it happened right around him, right next to him. You know what I mean? We could have easily each have got that box. Because we hunted in the same place. So, yeah. Anyways, that end is over. A new beginning is coming. The podcast is definitely going to be where I'm at. I listen to a lot of podcasts. If you guys want to know, message me personally. I'll tell you the ones I listen to. Don't necessarily want to promote myself or anybody else by saying the podcast I listen to. You guys know how social media is, and I'm not really a social media expert. That's Gen Z. That's Gen Z. That's why I'm trying to connect with them, really, because they're going to out-tech me before I even learn about the tech, to be honest with you. But there are some things and some skills that I'm going to have that they don't. Like, I can detect AI pretty good. I mean, there's a lot of behavior, pretty good at studying behaviors. I managed a halfway house for 3 years, a group of 3 halfway houses for 18 months total. I was in there for 3 years. I lived with these people in the community for 3 years. And being able to detect behaviors has been a very useful tool in my life, and I can see it in videos. They're getting really good though. They're getting really good with AI, but not good enough. They can't outsmart the old fox. The old fox are gonna know. The young bucks, they might fall for it, but the old fox ain't gonna. That's for sure. So, I mean, you always can detect a real voice, cadence, so many things I can't even explain, but it's a behavior. It's a behavioral recognition tactic that I use, and I use it for everything. When I'm out with my kid in the store and keeping an eye on her, and we'll go to crowds at Universal or go to Disney or whatever. We're out at the animals and we're around horses that could kick her in the head, or she's riding horses now. Her mom's about to lease a horse. So now I need a lot more money. But that's not what I'm doing this for. It's not about the money, Right now I'm just taking care of my mom. I have a little bit of extra time on my plate because of that. A little bit of extra time on my hands. I used it first for family, and now that's kind of at a standstill. And I'm going to pick this back up for a little bit and try to make it run. And good thing is, I can do this with my friends and my nephew and my brother, and I think I'm going to keep most of my guests limited to real everyday people. That's kind of where I want to focus, because if we can listen to these podcasts, we can understand them. I think that the creators would like to hear our voice. I would think. I would want to, as a creator. I like to hear you guys' voice as far as, the content that I'm putting out. And I have to believe that they would like to hear that too. But, it's hard to pass up. I mean, don't get me wrong, if Donald Trump emails me and he wants to fucking interview, I'm going to go interview him. But I'm going to try to keep it the local and, you know what I'm saying, real people, get some real stories, you know what I mean? Just get their viewpoints. Just get a pulse on the country, the people, different states, different places, different generations, just kind of conversate and, get a pulse on where everybody's at, because there will come a time in the future where if we're not together as a community, as a country, that we might get something that we don't want, and that we can't handle. And but as long as we maintain our pulse with each other, and we maintain our communities, and we keep ourselves together, whether it be silently or out here on social media, we have a much better chance together than we do alone. So I'm going to leave it at that tonight, guys. I just wanted to make a test, make sure that, I can still live from my phone. So, it's out there. I'm going to live tomorrow when the Bears game's on. I'll see you guys then. Till then, Mickey Rob Spinks, signing off. Happy hunting. And I don't even know how to shut this off. No. It's there. Oh. Yes. Stop streaming. All right. Goodbye, guys.